Welcome, welcome. Aging. What an interesting topic. Now, why do I say this? Well, all of us will grow old. All of us will change biologically. But have a look at the people around you. How old are they? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60? Wow, yes. It's like the elephant in the room, isn't it? Many of us talk about aging, but we really don't want to discuss it very much. So today, because I am old, not really old, but old, I'd like to discuss a concept called dynamic aging. Dynamic aging. Now, just before I begin, I wonder if you could please give me 10 seconds of your time to reflect on what aging means to you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, what does that mean? That means that each of us controls our time. Time is unique to me. So as I begin on this wonderful adventure called my life, I have to decide whether I'm going to see life as a dynamic experience unfolding in its beautiful form, or I'm going to end up in a way of bitterness and anger and betrayal. It's truly up to me. And I decide, for one, that life is a dynamic unfolding. Life is ascendant. It's not descendant. So please join me on the journey. Now, when I am 20 years of age or so, I am faced with 3 fundamental questions, I believe. Firstly, why am I here? Why am I here? Secondly, what's my mission in this magnificent life? What's my mission? And thirdly, what happens when I leave this mortal plane? What will happen to me? Well, the first one, why am I here? I think we can answer that relatively easily, can't we? Because there is no one like me. There never has been, and of course, there never will be. But what does that mean? That means very little unless I answer a fundamental question. Who is my teacher? Myself. Bless you, my students. You're my teacher, Mother. You're a wise lady. You're my teacher, Miss Chen. You're a beautiful person. You're my teacher, Father. You're very clever. All of those are really, really good answers, but they're wrong. They're wrong, fundamentally. I am my own teacher. I must learn. I have no choice. I must learn to teach myself. And yes, of course, I want mentors. Yes, I need them. I need wise people to guide me in my life. But I am responsible for the self. My life is my fault. My life is my fault. The second question, what is my mission? What is my mission? Well, Ralph Waldo Emerson tells us that all of us can reflect on life and develop in a very positive way. It is up to me. I can decide, well, Leon, how do I begin? I don't know what I do. Well, according to him, I get a notebook and I write in my notebook every single day. I document my day and the date. And my notebook, I show this to no one. Not my mom, not my dad, not my best friend. Why not? Because they love me. They care deeply about me. And the third question, what will happen when I die? What will happen when I leave this mortal place? Well, I believe in God, Jehovah, Yahweh, Gaia. This is important to me. And after a long mission of study, I've come to this position. Now, there are people, of course, who say, I believe nothing at all. Nothing. Well, that's up to you. But these 3 fundamental questions, when I'm around 20 years old, I must answer. Firstly, why am I here? Secondly, what is my mission? And thirdly, what happens when I leave this mortal plane? So today, I have some thoughts, not suggestions, but I have some thoughts on what produces dynamic aging. The very first one is that life is timeless. Yes, it's true. The body will, of course, age, but the spirit can remain young. It is truly up to me. Now, there are people who don't believe this, but fundamentally, when I wake up in the morning, I can decide whether it's going to be a good day or it's going to be a bad day. And sometimes days are harsh. Life is hard sometimes, isn't it? It's not always easy, not at all. But I can decide how I'm going to exist and how I'm going to go forward. It's up to me. And then, of course, don't be selfish. Give of your time, give of your money. And you can think to yourself, people such as Warren Buffett, richest man at one point in the world, more money than Midas. And he's promised us that when he dies, he's going to leave his vast fortune to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, he is 91 years old. And his partner, Charlie Munger, 98 years old. Gosh. And then guard your health. Protect your health. When we're young, we enjoy a bit of fun, of course, right? Have a bit of fun. And that is a necessary part of life. If we perhaps enjoy alcohol, maybe cigarettes, we don't get enough sleep, fine. But at some point, you're going to have to stop and say to yourself, I'm now going to take control of my health. And like an old doctor in India once said to me, sir, the body is like an old Mercedes-Benz. It can run for more than 500,000 kilometers, but you must change the oil, you must change the headlights, you must rotate the tires. And then, of course, never retire. Now, obviously, you will come to a point that you will change your job. I changed my job. Necessary. But do not think that a life of leisure, lying on a beach, doing nothing, is going to contribute to a long life. It's not. It's a death sentence, unfortunately. And then, of course, remain a lifetime learner. A lifetime learner. Steve Jobs, right? Stay curious always, right? Stay curious. Important. Why not? Now, I've met people, and I'm sure you've met people as well, that say, no, I'm too old to learn that. I'm too old. I can't do that. And the minute you say that, it's true. It's true. It actually comes to you. You become old. The body and you are at some point separate, right? So you have to be guarded. And then, of course, very important, we live in an age of identity politics, right? And when you're young, don't identify with anything. Don't identify with your sex. Don't identify with your race. Don't identify with your country. And certainly don't identify with your age. Don't identify with your age. Identify with you, the beautiful you, and develop in the way that you want to. Because self-esteem and not self-vanity are a prescription to a lifetime of learning, dynamic aging. Now, I have a small story about a friend. I have a 91, almost 92-year-old friend, still drives a car, recently got a new car, and he drove me around recently all over when I was in Canada, all over. And kind of startling for a moment when you realize that you're in heavy traffic and the man driving you is 91 years old. Kind of terrifying for a moment. So he's still an avid reader, and he irritates me because he always asks me, what books are you reading? And he knows the book. one of those people, right? He discusses the book, and he's got points in the book that you missed. He's one of those kind of clever people. So my favorite story of my 91, almost 92-year-old friend. Recently, he phoned me, and he said, Leon, and I could hear in his voice something was wrong. And so I said, are you okay? He said, I'm fine, but I have a girlfriend. Now, he's been a bachelor for many, many years. He has 4 sons, but he's never remarried. So I said, of course, well, that's great. He said, but there's a problem. What's the problem? She's quite a bit younger. Now, he's in good health, so the mind races, doesn't it? How old? Gosh, 15, 20, 25, 30? So I asked, which is rude in English, as you know, how old is she? She's 80. And I wanted to burst into laughter. 80. But he was serious. He was serious. So I realized that love is possible at any age. And from Bernard Baruch, the famous financier, age is always 10 years older than me. So obviously, life is to make a statement about living. It is not to simply go to school, get a job, get married, save some money, retire, and die. It is to make a statement about me, right? So as we embark on this great adventure of living, I think it's important to realize that life will unfold if we want it to or not. It is really, unfortunately, up to me. It's up to me. So I would like to leave you with some people who have made a difference in the latter part of their lives. Latter part of their lives. And the first would be, of course, Queen Elizabeth II, who's just died recently. Now, people are waiting 14 to 20 hours right now as we speak to pay their respects. She was on the throne for over 70 years, and she stabilized the British and perhaps the modern world for that period of time. Then we come to Dame Margaret Thatcher. Now, I'm sure you know your history. After the Second World War, Britain had won the peace but lost the war. It was economically bankrupted, right? So she was prime minister for 11 years, and she revitalized the British economy. And then my favorite, Colonel Saunders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now, Colonel Saunders, as we probably know, was a failure for most of his life until he got that right recipe, the finger-licking good chicken, right? Finger-licking good chicken. And KFC began its ascendancy when he was 95 years old. 95, right? And today, it's the second largest restaurant chain in the world. Remarkable. And finally, Sir Winston Churchill. Now, many people believe that Sir Winston Churchill saved the world from infamy with his stance and his favorite speech, his famous speech in June 1940. I'm sure we all know it. We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them on the landing grounds. We will fight them in the fields and in the streets and in the hills. We will never surrender. Now, I am not naive. Life is hard. Life is hard. It's not easy for anyone, especially as we age. But if I want to live this life of dynamic aging, it's truly up to me. And as the famous pundit says, no matter how old I feel, no matter how sick I feel, no matter how tired I feel, wake up, stand up, clean up, show up, dynamic aging. Never, never surrender. Thank you.